Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Hunter, and I am the Field CTO at NinjaOne. Welcome to Ninja 101, where today we're demonstrating how to import vulnerability data from Microsoft Defender into NinjaOne. A prerequisite for this workflow is an API server. This is a dedicated device or virtual machine that does nothing but make API calls to other services like Microsoft or other vulnerability scanners, and then imports that data into NinjaOne using the API. I have a video linked in the description on how to set up an API server if you haven't done it before. To get started, sign into the Entra portal as a global administrator or an application administrator. Navigate to App Registrations and click New Registration. Fill in the registration form. Give it a descriptive name such as NinjaOne Defender API, and select Single Tenant as the account type. You can leave the redirect URI blank as we're using client credentials, which doesn't require a redirect. Click Register. Entra will create the app and land you on its overview page. Copy the application ID or client ID and the directory ID or tenant ID. You'll need both in the script configuration. While in your app registration, navigate to API Permissions, add a permission, and select APIs my organization uses and search for Windows Defender ATP. Select Application Permissions, and let's add two different permissions. The first is going to be under a vulnerability. We'll add in vulnerability.read.all, and then we'll expand the machine section, and we'll add in machine.read.all. Once added, select Grant Admin Consent for your tenant and confirm. The status column next to each permission must show a green checkmark. Without admin consent, your API calls are not going to work. Navigate to Certificates and Secrets, Client Secrets, and add a new client secret. Add a description, for example, NinjaOne Defender, and choose an expiry period. In this case, I'm selecting 24 months as the longest available option. Click Add. At this point, the secret value is available to be copied. We're going to leave this tab open and open a second tab where we are going to log in to NinjaOne. We're going to store the tenant ID, client ID, and client secret in NinjaOne secure custom fields so that secrets never appear as plain text in the script body. Go to Administration, Devices, Device Custom Fields, and we'll create 3 custom fields. And our first custom field is going to be a secure type. Name it Entra Tenant ID, and make sure you type it exactly as I have in the label field. NinjaOne will automatically convert this label into camel case, and that name is case sensitive. Any changes made here would require modification in the script once we import it. Let's go to Permissions, and give this the ability to be read-only from automations and editable to technicians. Go ahead and save the field, and then we'll add in another secure field. This one is called Entra Client ID. And the permissions are going to be exactly the same, read only from automations and editable to technicians. Save this field. And the last field we're creating is also a secure field. This one is called Entra Client Secret. The permissions will be identical to the first 2 fields, read only from automations, and editable to technicians. Once we create those 3 custom fields, let's go to Roles over on the left side and expand the Windows Systems row, then the Windows Server row. Again, this presumes that you have already set up the API server according to the video and documentation in the description. Click on Edit for the API server role, and switch to the API Credentials tab. add in the 3 Entra custom fields we just created. Now that we've assigned the custom fields, I'm going to go to my API server, hover over Custom, and select the API Credentials tab. Click on Edit in the top right, and then add in the tenant ID, the client ID, and finally the client secret that we have open in our other tab. At this point, we can import the script that will retrieve vulnerabilities from Microsoft Defender. This is linked in the description. Go ahead and copy the full text, then back in NinjaOne, go to Administration, Library, Automation, and create a new script in the top right. Paste the script into the NinjaOne code editor. If you have modified the custom field names that we previously created, you'll need to modify the script to match your changes. You'll also need to confirm the file path that the CSV will export to, which in my case is just a folder on the C drive called Microsoft Vuln Export. The script will automatically create the directory if it is missing. At this point, we need to run the script manually. Go to your API server in NinjaOne, hover over the play button, and then run the automation that we previously imported. Once complete, use the File Explorer to download the CSV from the Microsoft Vuln Export folder on the C drive. Go ahead and open the CSV. We need to decide which columns are used to match the device in Microsoft Defender and the device in NinjaOne. MAC address and private IP address are both options, but these can change based on a variety of factors: multiple network adapters, VPNs, or if the device is a laptop that switches between a hardwired connection on a dock and a Wi-Fi network. In this case, I'll be using the hostname as the matching factor, but I have made certain that there aren't any duplicate hostnames in use in my environment to prevent vulnerabilities from inadvertently being assigned to the wrong device. In NinjaOne, let's go to Administration, Apps, then Add App, and find the Microsoft Defender menu option. Once enabled, navigate to the Scan Groups and click on Create Scan Group. Name your group, and then upload the CSV file we downloaded from the API server. Select your device identifier, which in my case is going to be hostname, and then the CVE identifier, which in this export is CVE_ID. We can complete the import, and the initial set of vulnerabilities will be visible in NinjaOne. Of course, our goal is to automate the process. Navigate to Administration, Apps, and then click on API. There's a question tooltip next to the API title bar. Hover over that and then click on the API documentation. Search for Vulnerability Management. Then click on Fetch All Scan Groups to expand. Then on the Try It Out button, and finally on Execute. We should see a JSON return, but all we really need from this is the ID of the Microsoft Defender scan group. Back in the NinjaOne dashboard, go to Administration, Library, Automation, and add in a new script. This second script is linked below in the YouTube description. Copy the complete script and paste it into the NinjaOne script editor. Change the scan group ID to the proper ID number that we found on the API documentation page. You'll also need to change the regional instance where your NinjaOne account is hosted. In my case, it's ca.ninjarmm.com, but yours may vary. After saving, let's go to Administration, Policies, and find our dedicated API server policy. Go to Schedule Automations and add in a new automation. I'll add in 2 scripts. First, the script to retrieve vulnerabilities from Microsoft, and then the second script to upload those vulnerabilities into NinjaOne. Make sure to name it something like Vulnerability Import from Microsoft, and set your schedule to execute sometime after your Microsoft Defender scans occur. Save the scheduled automation and then save your policy. We're going to have continuous visibility into vulnerabilities that are detected by Microsoft Defender, but we have that visibility inside of NinjaOne where we can easily deploy operating system patches, software patches, or even script-based remediations like modifying a registry key to close off zero-day exploits. While we demonstrated with Microsoft Defender today, this process is designed to be generic. Any vulnerability scanning tool with an API can be used. In the YouTube description, I've added links to duplicate the process with Tenable. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Take care.